kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball.
2 straight losses for South Cotabato, taking on Nueva Ecija, who has won their last 2 games in our 6th campaign. Those were big-time wins for Nueva Ecija, bouncing back after their loss versus Binyan. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Juanito Gregorio. And Juanito, if you're South Cotabato, with a couple of new additions, JP Calvo, AJ Benson also is now in their lineup. How do you perceive them moving forward and adjusting with those two?
You know, at the end of the season, you are already safe entering the playoffs. You have an opportunity to enter number 5. You have to be able to implement them in your offense and in your defense. These are 2 very good talents. But actually still see that they're still struggling in terms of being comfortable with the system. But they have to be able to be implemented more often para towards the rest of the season, these guys are going to be playing big, crucial roles para dito sa South Cotabato.
This is game number 7 for Mr. Calvo and game number 2 for AJ Benson in his return. Now we talk about the previous game of the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. That was a very convincing win on the road against Quezon Province. But it seems like we will begin with South Cotabato, who lost versus San Juan. That was their 2nd straight game, losing by 9 points.
Well, that game versus San Juan, this was a game where they started strong. 28-19 in the first quarter, 50-42 until the first half, but eventually San Juan was able to recover in the second half to be able to go away with that win there. You see the numbers right here. They allowed 50% for San Juan. That is too much if you want to be able to go home with the win. They allowed 11 threes. They allowed more rebounds. And of course, the second chance points too huge para dito sa South Cotabato. So they were not able to recover in the second half. That's why San Juan will be going home with the victory.
By the way, South Cotabato has struggled against teams with winning records in our campaign. They only have 3 wins against them and 8 losses against these contenders in the MPBL. And so, this is a golden opportunity for them to try to step up against MJ Ayaay, Dondon Arenas, JB Bahio, and company. This was the convincing win of the Rice Vanguards all the way down to Quezon Province.
You know, going to a very filled Quezon Convention Center, you would expect that this was going to be a close game. But Nueva Ecija was able to outpower the Quezon Huskers in that last game. You look at the numbers, everything was going the side of Nueva Ecija. They were more efficient on the offense. They made more threes. They were more aggressive in terms of attacking, and they were able to get more points off turnovers. That is why, especially in the second half, Nueva Ecija was able to take control of that ball game against the Quezon Huskers.
It's good that Nueva Ecija has been playing like this, because they did lose 3 times already, including that heartbreaking loss versus Binyan on the road, to which Jay Collado even said that was his worst game played as a Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard. Now, this is our player matchup for tonight, 2 small forwards.
You know, these guys are very crucial in terms of playing the outside game. 7.7 points para dito kay Billy Robles and 7.6 points a game para dito kay Val Acuña. But where is the difference? Val Acuña more efficient on the 3-pointers whenever he's open. This is usually a make para kay Val Acuña. Billy Robles, that's why he's called a Longo Superman for a reason. This guy can get to the rebounding end, and averaging 6.2 rebounds for a wing is very high. It's going to be very, very interesting, because not only because of the numbers, but the impact of both of these veterans. So it's going to be a very exciting matchup ahead.
You know what? Val Acuña making his shots might actually be one of the keys to lessening the rebounds of Billy Robles in this matchup. Now let's turn you over to Miguel Perez.
Starters first for the South Cotabato Warriors. Starting at guard, number 4, Nico Flash Elorde. To guard, number 21, Val Acuña. Coming in at center, number 1, Jammer Hamito. Forward, number 20, Jervy Cruz. And the other forward, number 14, Mike Sorella. The head coach for the South Cotabato Warriors is Elvis Tolentino. Assistant coaches Boying Diloy, Ramon Pido, Apple Coronado, Peter Deligero, and Rod Tolentino. Team manager is Merman Flores. Team owner is Michael Pacquiao. Now, the starting five for the MPBL Season 4 champions, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Starting at guard, number 24, JC Cuellar. Also at guard, number 18, John Wilson. Center, number 23, Jay Collado. Forward, number 8, Robbie Celis. And the other forward, number 26, Ilonggo Superman, Billy Ray Robles. Their head coach is Don Dulay. Assistant coaches, Rob Wainwright, Matt Pacalintal, Arnold Oliveros, Rick Sison, Derek Evangelista, and Jonathan Oilon. Team consultant is Von Monta.
We have our starting fives brought to you by Sports Max, powered by PlayMax, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL Win to the Max. Again, there's no Will Macaloni in this game for Nueva Ecija, so they will begin with Jay Collado, John Wilson, JC Cuellar, Robbie Celis, and Billy Robles. As for South Cotabato, we have Nico Elorde, Balacuña, Jammer Hamito, Jervy Cruz, and Nicole Sorella. It's actually a big lineup for South Cotabato.
Very tall ball for South Cotabato to start this ball game. Putting Balacuña at the 2 and Nicole Sorella at the 3 position. So they want to be able to match the physicality of Nueva Ecija with some size.
The thing is, Acuña can shoot, Sorella can shoot, even Jervy Cruz can pull up from downtown. So stretching the floor out would not be or should not be an issue for Nico Elorde. That's another nice matchup at the point guard position. Two defensive-oriented guards in Cuellar and Elorde. High-low play. Good steal by John Wilson. Wilson was the best player of Nueva Ecija 2 games back versus Batangas City. Here he is, firing and misfiring at that. And it's good to see him looking a bit aggressive at the start of this game because he's going up against his former team.
Right. Usually, John Wilson is actually coming off the bench para dito sa Nueva Ecija, not a usual starter. But John Wilson seemed to be, he will be trusted for that starting role.
There's a miss by South Cotabato. And we're back with JC or Lucas Cuellar. Robbie Celis attacking baseline. Nice pass. Wilson from the corner. Too strong. Rebound Acuña.
They're trying to create for John Wilson early on in the ball game. That's 2 straight attempts para dito kay John Wilson, but both will be ending with a miss.
So it's the game plan after all, to let him shoot.
Looks like it because they're actually really setting him up very early in the ball game.
Wilson does average 12 points per game this season, but you attribute a lot of that to his stint with South Cotabato. He actually left the Warriors as their leading scorer. This is Billy Robles. On to Robbie Celis. Celis was fouled.
That's going to be a good advantage para dito sa South Cotabato. Even after the switch, Balacuña can still match up with the height of Robbie Celis. But Robbie Celis was just very aggressive on that last play to be able to fish for a foul.
Celis, ever since playing his worst MPBL game, with only 2 points versus Binyan off of free throws, he scored 12 versus Batangas and 10 versus Quezon Province. So he has definitely bounced back. That consistency will be key for him once more. This is a good-looking 3 for Balacuña. Unable to convert. Both teams still scoreless here. Almost 2 minutes gone by. This is JC Cuellar, baseline drive and feed. Billy Robles. Jay Collado, 3-pointer. Still no good. Offensive rebound for Lucas.
Those are all good shot opportunities para dito sa Nueva Ecija. They're actually executing very well. They just could not get anything going in their offense. Both teams still at 0 for the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
We're back with Nico Elorde. Nicole Sorella. Back to Nico. Trying to organize the offense. Elorde, two-man game with Jervy Cruz. There's the switch. Jervy, this is a mismatch. 2 on the shot clock. Cruz has to fire, and he scores.
No, he was once an MVP for a reason. His post game is as finesse as it can get, and once again he shows why he is one of the best post players here in the MPBL.
South Cotabato is now on the board. Nueva Ecija trying to take its turn. Cuellar. Celis, free throw shot. That's good.
It's a good play by Nueva Ecija. Robbie Celis was wide open off that middle. After all the switches, Robbie Celis was able to find a good space.
3 minutes gone by, 2-all. After that conversion, and here's Nico Elorde. A good-looking 3. Too strong. Rebound Sorella. Juanito, don't these two teams just look so organized at the start of this match? As Valacuña apparently stepped out of bounds after I said that they look organized.
But they do. They actually do. They're executing very well. They're waiting for the best options on their offenses. And these are two veteran-laden teams. So walang nagmamadali on both of their sides. You see them using 20 to 22 seconds on the shot clock. And that is the type of basketball both of these teams will be playing all throughout this game.
And I said that because, as a viewer, because we're here at the sideline, it seems like a relaxing game to watch because of just how smooth everything is operating.
Yes.
On both ends of the floor.
And if you're a coach, this is actually a very good game to watch because you see the defense, you see the offense, lahat organized. There's really a game plan entering this game, and it's a good way to learn. As you see there, they were able to use 22 seconds of the shot clock to be able to get that drop pass to the post para dito kay Jervy Cruz.
That's 2 baskets for Jervy Cruz off of his mismatch against Lucas Cuellar. Robbie Celis, Mr. Mismatch himself. 2 baskets from the same area.
You know, that motion offense of Nueva Ecija is very scary if you have a very deadly guy off the mid-range like Robbie Celis. Because you will be locating that strong side, someone is bound to get open on the weak side. And Robbie Celis, back-to-back mid-range buckets off that offense.
It's one of the reasons why he's an all-star. That's a nice feed onto the leaking Jay Collado, who poses to the camera. Not sure if that was intentional, but we'll take it, JJ.
You know, you gotta say, it's rare that Jay Collado will be the one heading that fast break, but he just saw the opportunity. Good find, good finish, and the bonus para sa Nueva Ecija.
Where's the post? Hindi nakita. This fast break of the game is brought to you by Sports Max, powered by Play Max, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL. Win to the max. Collado able to convert from the line. First 3 points for the Season 4 champion. One of the ultimate veterans of Nueva Ecija. 7-4. Hamito going to Jervy Cruz. Again, South Cotabato is staying patient. Valacuña. That's a mismatch against Cuellar. Acuña using his ability, and he is able to score.
Usually a guy that we're gonna see playing outside, but he saw that he had that height mismatch, so he took advantage getting that bucket.
Robbie Celis on the other end continues to score.
Too deadly on the mid-range is Robbie Celis. All 6 points of Robbie Celis coming off the mid-range.
And he hasn't missed 3 out of 3. 9-6. 4.5 minutes in the opening frame. Nico Elorde, nice fake. And it's Jervy Cruz who fires. Too strong. Rebound, Robbie. Celis brings it down. Celis crosses. Robbie Celis is blocked. Recovery for Billy Robles.
Right place, right time para dito kay Billy Robles. We were talking about Billy Robles. This guy will crash the boards either on the defensive end or on the offensive end. 3 white shirts, but Billy Robles going hard for that offensive rebound. And lucky for him, he will be slapped with a foul and be going for a bonus.
Robles averages 6 boards, but he had his season high 17 versus Pangasinan. His career high was 18 back in his Davao days. Now let's go to Andrea Endicio.
For the past games, Coach Don Dulay and the rest of the coaches of Nueva Ecija has been liking how the Rice Vanguards are performing defensively since they've been going up against good offensive teams. Syempre, ang focus nila ay depensa, pero kwento niya, all the good defensive schemes and preparations would be useless kung wala yung effort and competitiveness. Actually, they've been doing something lately. Kung tayo ay may matchup every game, sila naman meron ding matchup kapag practice. The other day nga raw, ang matchup nila ay sina Will Macaloni at Robbie Celis, which probably explains why their competitiveness have been upping lately. As you guys know, what you do in practice, you bring in the game. Back to you guys.
I wish we could have watched that.
I do have a request for Andrea. So when we say, or when we hear that there's a matchup for Nueva Ecija, as we take a look at this basket and one play once more for Billy Robles, ano nangyayari doon sa matchup na yun? Diba? In their practice, what do they do against each other so that they could, try to...
Is it like a one-on-one situation?
Yeah.
Talking about one-on-one, I think that was yesterday. Mac Barakael posted him and JR Taganas playing one-on-one, and that was so interesting. I think it was on Facebook or on Instagram. Probably Will Macaloni and Robbie Celis was playing the same thing.
Is it also in the context of dalawa lang sila na nasa court?
Yeah, I think
one-on-one?
they're just having fun. Itong si JR Taganas and si Mac Barakael.
Yeah, but that's my question to Macaloni and Celis. Or baka naman hina-highlight lang nila yung dalawa sa scrimmage. 5-on-5 pa rin.
Right.
As you got to see our turnover story, is in favor of Nueva Ecija so far. This is Billy Robles kicking it out. Celis leans in. That's short. Mamito got the board, and here's Mark Cruz. Cotabato has been silenced quite lately after that palitan start that we had between Jervy Cruz and Robbie Celis, as now there's a foul called, a push by Bahio, I suppose.
They're trying to locate Jammer Hamito. Much stronger, much longer than JB Bahio, who is more of a modern day big. So they want to be able to maximize on the post game of Jammer.
Couple of subs. Vince Magbuhos and Chris Biton check in alongside MJ Ayaay to join JB Bahio. Yes, that is how you pronounce it. And also John Wilson. As for South Cotabato, this is Mark Cruz with Felix Aprecu, Kyle Tolentino, Marvin Jonicio, and Chris Dumapig. Tolentino blocked, but he was fouled apparently by Magbuhos.
I like how he's more aggressive getting to the basket. Itong si Kyle Tolentino. Usually a guy who looks for his three-pointers early on. But for him to be able to get more three-pointers, the defenders has to respect his driving game. That is exactly what he did there in that last play.
First free throw is no good for Kyle Tolentino. In the season, he averages close to 10 points per game. He actually formed a nice duo with Enzo Hoson before the arrival of JP Calvo. At gumaling na rin si Mark Cruz, who lost a month this season because of an injury.
One of the stronger backcourts actually really is South Cotabato. You have Mark Cruz, you have Nico Elorde, you have Enzo Hoson, you have JP Calvo now there. It's a matter of them being healthy, especially towards the playoffs.
We did see a lineup similar to this nung andito pa si Kit Jimenez. Nandito pa si John Wilson, ganun kalalim yung guard rotation nila with Ping Masaglang as well. So it's kind of a throwback, especially for Nico Elorde, who is present in those two rosters alongside Mark Cruz. John Wilson is blocked by his former teammate, Chris Dumapig.
No space on that fast break para di sa Nueva Ecija. So they're lucky that the ball will return to them. See here, almost a handoff. So that is how tight that fast break is. Good defense coming from Chris Dumapig.
Back with JB. Bahio able to score.
Old school hook shot for the new school big man in JB Bahio. It's a good move coming off that inbound.
Dumapig onto Mark Cruz, who fires. Too strong. Rebound by Wilson. And here's Chris Biton. Magbuhos. Back to Chris. Bahio. The cross. Trying to go for a spin to no avail. Ayay from the corner. That's a 3.
Good spacing on that last play. JB finding a wide open Jasper on that left corner.
20-7 now. 100 seconds before the end of 1. Marvin Jonicio. Screen by Dumapig. Marvin with fire. Too strong. And there's a loose ball foul.
It's going to be a pull. Galing dito kay Jasper.
This 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Great draw by Bahio. It's Ayay from the corner. He's been picking things up scoring-wise recently for Nueva Ecija. Averaging close to 8 points per game is MJ Ayay, a rookie in the MPBL but a veteran in Philippine basketball. 7 on the shot clock. Tolentino misfires. By the way, we shouldn't be strangers to them shooting threes because South Cotabato is number 1 in the league in 3-point attempts.
That's going to be the game plan of South Cotabato going here into this ball game. But they have to be able to add a lot more. You have guys like Chris Dumapig and Jervy Cruz who can man that post. You can have guys like JP Calvo who can attack. But so far, Nueva Ecija has just been manning up wherever they want to. Silas from the mid, Ayay from the 3. Now Ayay from the post, everything going para dito sa Rice Vanguards.
It is now 22-7 off of this conversion by MJ Ayay, who now has 5 points in 90 seconds of play for himself. We have a timeout for Coach Elvis. We have our fan of the game brought to you by Jinky Skin, present here inside the Orion Sports Complex in Bataan. Later on, the Risers will host against the Negros Muscovados. Now it's South Cotabato versus Nueva Ecija following the big-time victory of Quezon versus Muntinlupa. Now, on Saturday, we have our All-Star Day. The executive game, the 3-point shootout, the slam dunk contest, and the All-Star game, which will feature the likes of Larry Rodriguez. Who else? Robbie Celis, and hopefully Will Macaloni will be okay by then. Did mention that he's out for today because of a minor leg injury, so he's just resting out. Christian Pajarito will not be able to make our All-Star game anymore. He was replaced by Louis Vigil, as this is going to be a shot clock violation for South Cotabato.
And those are the kinds of turnovers you don't want. You're coming off a timeout. It's a perfect time to be able to execute. But it will end in a turnover para dito South Cotabato. A chance for Nueva Ecija to even extend this lead further.
Last 30 seconds. It's a 13-second differential. Chris Bitoon working with Magbuhos. Vince. Bumped. They go to Ayay. Same spot, different result. Rebound, Dumapig. 15 seconds. Cruz hands it off. Tolentino. He was fouled by Byron Villarias.
They're not yet in penalty, so still 11 seconds on the game clock here.
Apparently they are. So it's free throws already for Kyle Tolentino. Both teams are in the penalty. The first one is no good for Kyle. Free throw shooting so far is 1 out of 3 for South Cotabato, all by Kyle Tolentino.
And he's been struggling from the line early on. We're not really used to seeing Kyle because this guy is very comfortable shooting the free throws.
South Cotabato will try to play good defense once more. Last 10 seconds before the end of 1. Chris Bitoon. Nueva Ecija bench yelling out the clock. 2 seconds. Bahio lost it. No more recovery, and that's going to do it for our first 10 minutes. It is 22-8.
Very good start para dito sa Nueva Ecija. They were able to execute early on. Robbie Celis starting out very strong for them to be able to get this lead early. And after Jervy Cruz getting some early buckets, they were not able to recover. Only 8 points for South Cotabato here in the first quarter.
And most of those came in the first couple of minutes. Actually, we were scoreless for the first, 2 minutes?
Yes, 2.5 minutes.
And then nagpalitan. After nun, lumayo na itong Nueva Ecija with a lot of contributions, not only from their starters, but their bench as well. We've seen a total of 7 bench points, almost equaling the tally of South Cotabato in this matchup. This first quarter score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. It's the ending GameX.
Mga kabasketball, handa na ba kayo? Makisaya ngayong September 7 sa Zamboanga City para sa 2024 Sikat MPBL All-Star Game. Iba ang sigla at laban sa Zamboanga. Suporta kita kung mga manlalaro MPBL, ang Liga ng Bayan. Basta Zamboanga, sikat.
Back inside the Orion Sports Complex before we proceed to the Mayor Vitaliano Diagan Coliseum this coming Saturday for our All-Star festivities. MJ Ayay looking like Michael Jordan on that previous play.
He's been showing the complete package. Itong si Jasper Ayay started with a 3, getting his 5th point off the post. Now showing that he can also drive that basketball. 47% for Nueva Ecija to start the ball game, and 23% for South Cotabato.
But now, at least the Warriors have JP Calvo on the floor alongside AJ Benson, who will both look to help out offensively. As the 2 recent additions for the white shirts, Mark Cruz was fouled from downtown.
For a team who shoots a lot of threes, they have not made a single one here in this ball game. 0 out of 8 in the first quarter para dito sa South Cotabato, and that is a main reason why they are struggling. Usually they adjust after making a few threes, but if they are struggling from the outside, then their main game plan is not working here in this ball game.
There's some magic in the air from MJ Ayay himself. Is feeling it here in Orion. He's already nearing double figures as Mark Cruz converts from the line. We mentioned the 3-point shooting tendencies of South Cotabato. Mark actually is number 7 in the league in terms of percentage at 38% from downtown. So that's good for number 3 in Jensen or South Cotabato. And why does that make sense? When it comes to our top 10 players in the league, those are volume statistics. So Larry Rodriguez, even though he's at 50%, and Jervy Cruz, even though he's at 39%, they will not qualify for our top 10 in the whole of the MPBL because of the lack of attempts. Pero kung usapang numero lang, sila po ang top 2 for the Warriors. There was a turnover by Nueva Ecija. That was number 2 for them. And we're back with Mark Cruz. They go to AJ Benson on his second game. Benson pass inside to Dumapig. Nice feed.
It's a good pass coming from Benson. Not much space to operate, but he was able to put that ball perfectly to Chris Dumapig. You see 3 blue shirts right there. Byron Villarreal just slightly late on that help side. Chris Dumapig at the right place at the right time off that pass coming from AJ Benson.
AJ Benson last year played for Valenzuela. It's good to see him being a part of a playoff team. Even though he was a late addition, nakaplano naman na maging parte siya at the start of the season.
They're actually getting to utilize him better. He's getting a lot more opportunities for him to actually showcase his talent para dito sa South Cotabato, and this is a good addition for the Warriors.
It's 24-14, almost a steal. Vince Magbuhos. Byron Villarreal, 7 on the shot clock. Ayay to Piton. Piton lost Mark Cruz. And then it was a miss from downtown. Here's JP Calvo. Up top they go to the Ant-Man. Mark Cruz back at it. Two-man game. 6 on the shot clock. Jonicio will fire. Too strong. Rebound to Mapig. He's blocked by Magbuhos. Recovery for Benson. One more and AJ will score.
Good defense coming from Vince Magbuhos, but no one was able to go for that rebound. So too much space for AJ Benson to get that putback. Don't look now. Single-digit lead na lang para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
It's been an 8-0 run by South Cotabato. So the tally in this quarter is 8-2. Vince Magbuhos, a three-pointer. In and out, rebound Benson. Forward to Mark Cruz. They go to Jonicio, one more feed. Dumapig fakes, Dumapig will score.
This 5 of South Cotabato is able to execute better. Their outside game is not working, so what do? Find Chris Dumapig on the inside. Feed him that basketball and let's adjust off of him. Earlier it was Benson, now it's Marvin Jonicio getting that ball inside, and once again Chris Dumapig finishing with that strong attack.
This play of the game is brought to you by Suzuki. Now we have 8 points in the paint for South Cotabato in this matchup. They have trimmed the lead down to 6.
Nagbabalik ang MPBL. Christian Fajarito and Enzo Hoson are both injured, hence their absence today. Si Larry Rodriguez naman had a prior commitment. Nonetheless, Coach Elvis Tolentino remains confident as he talked about how they have been preparing not just for their remaining games, but for the playoffs as well. Kung may team ang Warriors ngayon, it's the word solidifying. One, in practice, they are working on solidifying their roles even more para wala na raw shortcuts. Two, they want to solidify their relationship as a team at magkakaroon nga raw sila ng team building activity before the start of the playoffs. And three, solidify their emotions na instead na ma-down after their back-to-back losses, see things as preparation to what they are about to encounter sa playoffs. Mix and Coach Juanito.
That certainly would be very useful because South Cotabato, as it stands, does not have home court advantage. They're currently number 7 in the South Division as AJ Benson is stripped by Billy Robles. Although, it's a very tight race from seeds 3 to 7. Batangas, Binyan, Parañaque, Davao, and South Cotabato all separated by only 2 games.
Now, this is going to be a very important game para dito sa South Cotabato. They actually have the chance to actually jump to number 5 after this ball game. They are all tied at 15 and 10. But they have been struggling the past few games. They're going up against a very strong opponent.
All right, we're going to have a challenge on the kick by Mark Cruz.
Yeah, very interesting. It's always a 50-50 call about Mark Cruz. It's actually a natural way of shooting para kay Mark Cruz. So it's very hard. He's been shooting that way since high school. I've been watching Mark Cruz. So it's going to be very interesting what the calls of the referees are.
Because earlier, they called the defensive foul on Bahio, on the three-pointer by Cruz. Ngayon, ang itinawag ay offensive foul. So we'll let our referees decide.
Upon review, the challenge was unsuccessful. Call on the floor stays. Offensive foul on number 9.
As Juanito mentioned, it's always 50-50 when it comes to the shooting motion of Mark Cruz.
This might have overextended a little, but it really is interesting because it's the natural motion of Mark Cruz. So you really can't call every offensive foul on Mark Cruz.
So we will proceed with a tally of 24-18. Another 7 minutes in the second. Billy Robles working with Jay Collado. Robles escapes. Robles will score.
One of the right-handed guys who actually is very comfortable attacking left. Itong si Billy Ray Robles. So you can never give that left side to Billy because he is so strong attacking left and finishing right.
Robles now has 6 points in this game. Check that, he has 8, so he already has surpassed the season average.
So far, he's winning that individual matchup. Watch that again. They give him that left side, which is not the best idea if you're going up against Billy Robles. 4 white shirts, no one was able to contest that layup by Billy.
And a nice control on that in-and-out dribble as well. AJ Benson from Curryland. He's looking good. He didn't play too much in the previous game. Only 5 minutes, although he had 4 points. He's trying to be a spark plug once more.
I think that's going to be the first 3 of South Cotabato here in this ball game. For a team that shoots a lot, that's going to be their first make here in this game.
Out of 9 tries for the Warriors. And now a foul is called on the other end. This 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. AJ Benson last year showed us his skill set with Valenzuela, doing everything. Scoring from whatever angle alongside the likes of Darren Manliguez, Mike Machon. And so, now it's paying off even more. Of course, we'd like to see him get more wins in his campaign as John Wilson converts from the line.
He was the earliest South Cotabato player here in the venue.
I actually thought that he was going to be a part of the Quezon Huskers. He was that early.
He was actually shooting even before Muntinlupa, so seems like it will pay off, that early shooting, already with 5 points in the ball game.
That's AJ Benson who we're talking about, as John Wilson was able to convert from the line. It is 28-21. Another 6 minutes in the second. Elorde. Good defense by Collado. Almost a steal. 8 on the shot clock. Calvo onto Nico for 3. Too strong. Nice box by Hamito. Quick thinking by Nueva Ecija to switch back. 4 on the shot clock. JP Calvo shaking off Jay Collado. Calvo will score.
Pure skill, pure talent. That offense was already confusing. No one knew what to do. But JP Calvo said, relax, I got you. I'll get this basket. And they cut the lead to 5.
First 2 points in this game for JP Calvo. And now there's a foul called on South Cotabato.
This 2-point guard rotation para dito South Cotabato is doing them wonders. Earlier, it was Calvo and Cruz. Now it's Calvo and Elorde. Watch that step back off the switch. What talent by JP Calvo. But the tall ball not really going the side of South Cotabato in the first quarter. Now the 2-point guard rotation, cutting the lead. 5.
Nice response though by Kenneth Mocon. That extends the lead to 8 points. Kenneth has done a lot of extra work with his brother. That's why he's able to improve his shooting as well throughout the years. Big shout out to JV, of course. This is AJ Benson, a 3-pointer, no good. Rebound Wilson. There's a loose ball foul. Somebody was hugging another.
Jammer Hamito, that'll be called for the foul. Oh,
It's
sorry,
Collado. Much to his surprise.
It's a good matchup down low. Muscle on muscle matchup between Collado and Jammer Hamito.
Baseline inbound for JP Calvo. The lead is 8. AJ Benson against Robbie Celis. 10 on the shot clock. Benson. 5 seconds. Hand off to Nico. Elorde misfires. And Mocon is fouled by Calvo.
Really a panic shot on the side of South Cotabato. That mid-range off the handoff is not a shot that Nico Elorde usually takes. But that will end in an air ball.
4 minutes 18 in the second quarter. Mocon bringing it down. Now it's Robbie Celis. But to John Wilson. Attacking and missing. And here's Nico on the counter. Calvo down the middle. He's blocked, but fouled as well.
There really are players who are natural scorers. One of them is JP Calvo. Just knows what to do with that basketball, especially in terms of getting that ball inside the ring. Earlier we saw him shoot from the outside. Now he's showing us that he can also take it strong and fish for fouls. JP Calvo, such a good addition for South Cotabato. And going to be more important, especially entering the playoffs. You see the numbers right there. Almost 11 points a game, 4 assists, and 2 steals a ball game. And at number 7, I'm sure that whoever the number 2 position or whatever position they will be playing, it's going to be very, very scary in terms of South Cotabato.
As impressed as we have been with JP Calvo, he's not even at 100% back in terms of game feel in the MPBL. Alam naman natin, ibang takbo sa ating liga. In his words, ibang pace, mas mabilis, at ang physicality, of course, is up there as Jay Collado answers back.
There's one guy who knows the physicality, who's mastered the MPBL. It's Jay Collado.
He's been here since his days with Quezon City, to Basilan, or to Nueva Ecija. Calvo, defended well by Kenneth Mocon, who's one of the best perimeter defenders of Nueva Ecija. He got the stop and the board. John Wilson, inside they go. Robbie Celis, cross court. Collado for 3. Bombs away.
Inside, outside, big man para din sa Nueva Ecija. Earlier putting that ball on the floor. Now they close down on the driving lane. He has that step out and can shoot the 3.
Hamito on the other end for some redemption. Yes.
Off balance and awkward, but Jammer Hamito able to get that fadeaway off foot para kay Jammer.
Under 3 minutes in the second, the lead is 9. We're seeing a bit of an exchange now. After it was a nice run by South Cotabato to begin the quarters, now there's a defensive foul called on Nico Elorde.
Let's watch this again. Jammer Hamito trying to close down on the driving lane of Jay Collado. He gets the 3. On the other end, it's my turn, says Jammer. Off foot, off balance, no problem. Jammer Hamito with the answer.
Let's see his numbers. Jammer Hamito has 2 points and 5 rebounds in 10 minutes of play so far. This is Kenneth Mocon at the line. He's more known for his defense, but I already mentioned his hard work, especially with the shot. I actually played pickup game with him a lot of times during the pandemic.
Yes, that's right.
And that's all that he does in the pickup game. Kasi alam naman natin na mataas ang level ng MPBL, but just so everybody knows, kahit na nakapag varsity ka ng high school or condition ka nowadays, kapag may nakalaro kang MPBL player,
oh yeah,
magaling talaga yung mga yan. To the point na minsan isipin mo kung nilalaro ka lang nila. Mocon, in our pickup games would just attempt 3-pointers. And he would make like 5 to 7 in one pickup game. And that's it. That's the difference.
And you have to credit because I got to go up against Mocon. He was not a deadly shooter back in his day.
Yeah.
In high school and in college. So he really worked on that, especially in the pandemic, as you were saying. And probably used that pickup game as a confidence booster to his game. Now a modern day 3-and-D. But one thing that you cannot take away from Kenneth Mocon, this guy is elite defensively. Because of his athleticism at that size, he's able to match up with a lot of guards.
This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Robbie Celis, a guy who can also do it all, able to convert. He did have a nice start in this game, as he already has 7 points.
Actually, his first points after his
Nice start.
Sixth straight. Medyo lumamig ng onte itong si Robbie Celis, but never too late for him to get back.
Well, he did spend time on the bench as well. Because as we know, these two teams normally also try to maximize their depth as Cal Tolentino converts the second three-pointer of South Cotabato.
They needed that 3 to be able to cut this into single digits. Of the single-double action, Kyle Tolentino will be open from that left wing.
39-30, Jay Collado. Trying to shake off Jamito. Collado pulls up and scores.
You know, I can't remember the last time that he's playing with his ball handling. Usually, a guy who either pick and pops or pick and rolls. Pero today, sabi niya, kaya ko ring drumibol. Jay Collado showing out here in this ball game.
He has already doubled his season average of 5 points per game. Collado in double figures, but now there's a foul called on Robbie Celis. This was the dribble pull-up by JJ Collado, much to our delight.
Double in out to a mini step back para kay JJ Collado. He's having fun. He likes the matchup with Jammer Jamito. He knows that he has foot speed against Jammer, so he's playing it outside, shooting it as well from the outside.
Personally, I'm very happy for him because 2 games back against Batangas, he also gave us a pass when he hung in the air. Kumbaga may hang time siya and then pinasa niya sa loob. So it was a highlight for JJ. Tapos ngayon may dribble pull-up pa siya. So sige, tuloy-tuloy lang para sa veterano ng Nueva Ecija.
Keeps on adding to his game itong si JJ Collado.
41-32. 80 seconds before halftime. Kenneth Mocon will bring it down. Against Mark Cruz. Mocon, one of our heftier guards in the MPBL. Still at it. Screen by JJ. Mocon will fire. That's his second three-pointer.
And looks like his pandemic workouts will pay off. That's a second 3. As you were saying, by Kenneth Mocon. Already a modern-day 3-and-D para di sa Nueva Ecija.
44-32. The biggest lead was 16 for the Rice Vanguards. Tolentino could not answer back. Rebound to Wilson. Screen by Magbuhos. John Wilson operating. Left open. Too strong. Rebound Acuna.
They went for the 2-for-1. They want the ball to go back on their side.
Mark Cruz. Back at it. This is a mismatch. He's gonna dance with Magbuhos. It's a steal by Vince. 3-on-2 action. Wilson bounces. Takiwag left open at the corner. No good. John Wilson recovery.
Gotta credit Vince Magbuhos for that stop. He wanted that one-on-one.
6 seconds. Mark Cruz for 3. No good. Rebound to Collado. Nueva Ecija should be happy. Entering their dugout up by 14.
In the second quarter, South Cotabato was able to cut this lead down to 4 after a very strong start in the second. But quick answer coming from Nueva Ecija, led by JJ Collado. Now guys like Vince Magbuhos also helping out. And we will be entering the second half with a 14-point lead in favor of Nueva Ecija.
So it's 10 for Collado, 8 for Robles, and 7 for Ayaay as 3 of the top 4 scorers of Nueva Ecija. Kenneth Mocon is now in the mix with 8 as well. Just a great sense of balance for the 3rd best scoring team in the MPBL, averaging 85 per game. They're on pace to surpass that. This halftime score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. That's the ending. GameX. The stars have aligned, and now we are dead set for our MPBL All-Star Game.
Are you ready for more? Pacquiao finally knocks down the South All-Star Executives.
The man you have all been waiting for. How many times have we seen that and it still doesn't get tiring to watch? A love to himself.
For the tie! Oh no! No! That is it!
3-point shootout champion, Orlan Wamar!
The crown will belong to the guy from the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Our champion is CJ Ganya. Boy Aktub from downtown and leaner, yes sir. The run, Serrano on the move, Serrano all the way.
Oh my goodness, there we go. That's our first dunk of the game. MPBL All-Star Game winner, the North All-Stars.
Mga kabasketball, handa na ba kayo? Makisaya ngayong September 7 sa Zamboanga City para sa 2024 Sikat MPBL All-Star Game. Iba ang sigla at laban sa Zamboanga. Suporta kita kung mga manlalaro MPBL, ang Liga ng Bayan. Basta Zamboanga, sikat.
We are at halftime for Nueva Ecija versus South Cotabato. The tally reads 46-32. So again, at the start of this game, tahimik ang ating dalawang kupunan. And then there was an exchange. After that, lumayo ang Nueva Ecija. At the start of the second, lumapit ang South Cotabato. They were able to trim it down to
4 points.
and then lumayo ulit ang Nueva Ecija.
You know, it's been a story of 2 quarters. Nueva Ecija starting it out strong after a very slow start for both of the teams. They were able to lead by double digits in the first quarter, and in the second quarter, better adjustment from South Cotabato. They were actually only at 23% in terms of field goals, but you know, if you're giving up 51% in terms of Nueva Ecija, that's just too much. That's why they're scoring 46 points here. Outside game also going the side of Nueva Ecija. 4 3-pointers made, even though South Cotabato has been scoring more. Nueva Ecija also taking care of that basketball much better. Only 3 turnovers, scoring 7 off of them. On the other end, 8 turnovers para naman sa South Cotabato. Fast break points, Nueva Ecija also outrunning itong South Cotabato. Everything going to the side of the blue and yellow, and a lot of adjustments has to be made by Coach Elvis Tolentino towards the second half.
We're seeing the leading scorers of South Cotabato. 5 across the board for Dumapig, Tolentino, and Benson. Calvo has 4 as well off the bench. It was actually their second unit that got them to push early in the second frame. There's AJ Benson on his second appearance for South Cotabato. On the other end, it's Jay Collado stepping up with the loss of Will McAloney in this matchup. JJ has 10 with a couple of highlights as well. Billy Robles and Kenneth Mocon then combined for 16. Then it's Robbie Celis with 7 points alongside MJ Ayaay as well. So that's a total of 5 players already with 7 points or more in this matchup. So we did see the highlight of Jay Collado dribbling twice and then pulling up in the first half sa ating compilation at halftime. There were a lot of jokes being thrown around in the team of Nueva Ecija as they were shooting around before starting the third quarter because of their great play. So maganda yung vibes nila, no? Mabilis ang kanilang naging halftime huddle. And one of those jokes was Chris Biton and even Kenneth Mocon playing with Jay Collado, hinahawakan yung tiyan niya. So tinanong ko siya, Jay, yung ba dahilan kung ba't nag-highlight ka? Sabi niya, well, yeah, I've been losing a couple of pounds. So there you have it.
Oh, he is moving a lot better. No, I can say that. He is a little quicker. He is able to move a little better. He is more mobile. So you gotta give credit to him dahil he's been working on his game.
We have some sort of clarification going on between our referees.
Coach Elvis not happy.
Benson is second. And number 26, Billy Robles is first. resulting to a jump ball. Possession
Okay,
area
double
was
foul,
taken
jump
by
ball.
Sia Rice Vanguards.
It was between Benson and Robles on the box out. Yeah, those two will really battle it out for the rebound.
Muscle on muscle. Billy Robles would always be going for that rebound, as well as AJ Benson. There's something that Coach Elvis is not happy about. Maybe he wanted that foul on Billy Robles.
Or maybe even a no call.
But he will only be given a warning. No technical para kay Coach Elvis.
46-32. Nueva Ecija has possession. Dakiwag gets it. And Dakiwag is listed as the best three-point shooter of Nueva Ecija. But that's a 2 off of his step back.
He actually didn't play until the last minute of the second quarter. So that is how deep the bench of Nueva Ecija is. But he may be adding to the outside game of Nueva Ecija here in this ball game. They've already made 4 in the first half.
Dumapig backing down against Robbie Celis, and he scores as Collado went down.
One of the few things that have been working para dito sa South Cotabato. Put the ball inside to Chris Dumapig and make him work. That's already 6 points inside the paint, 7 in total para kay Chris here in this ball game.
Dumapig is actually familiar with Nueva Ecija. He went up against them in the finals of Season 4 when he was a part of that Zamboanga squad. Lucas Cullar from the corner, it's a 3.
You know, if you were watching Cullar in college, you would let that 3 go. But he's been working on that the whole season long, and he has the confidence already to take that outside shot. Now he is a threat para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Props to JC Cullar for working on that 3-point game.
Cullar has played 22 games before this one as Jervy Cruz answers back. Of those 22 by Lucas, he made a 3-pointer 19 times. And multiple games din. Marami-rami kung saan multiple 3-pointers ang kanyang na-convert. He's shooting at a 35% clip, which is pretty decent if you think about it. Because we already have a couple of players like Ed Dakiwag who's in the top 10, and the percentage of Ed is at 37%. As Robbie Celis just scored for Nueva Ecija. How about Jervy Cruz? So we're really seeing the bigs putting in the work in the third.
They're putting that ball on the post. For the team that is shooting the most from the outside, the only thing working for them in this ball game is their inside baskets. That's already going to be the second basket para kay Jervy here in the ball game. The first coming from the first quarter. And Chris Dumapig also making 3 close to the basket. So that may be a threat para dito sa South Cotabato, but they're not with Larry Rodriguez here in this ball game. Could have helped them as well from that inside.
Jervy Cruz able to convert from the line. The lead is 13. Robbie Celis just looking like a guard against those bigs.
Too easy para dito kay Robbie Celis. It's been a very comfortable game from him, coming from the mid-range, either off the dribble or off the catch. Everything is working off the middle para kay Robbie.
9 points now for Robbie Celis. That's his third board. And once again, he's on the move. Robbie Celis, same spot for Lucas. Same result.
Good pass galing dito kay Robbie Celis. He was able to attract everybody off that drive. Wide open on the corner is Lucas Cullar.
How about Balacuña answering back on the other end?
Quicker paced basketball we are watching the past 2 minutes from both of these teams. Scoring on scoring has been the story.
Robbie Celis, this time is firing. Rebound to Mapig, no outlet. Here's JP Calvo. Calvo attacking the defense of two Nueva Ecijanos. No conversion. There it is from Jervy Cruz.
You know, I'm loving this vintage Jervy Cruz game. Mid-range, post-game, even the three-pointer is added para dito kay Jervy Cruz. But this guy is already in double digits with 12.
58-45. Lucas Cullar attacking. Lefty layup. What a move.
You know, usually a pass first point guard ng si Lucas Cullar, but here he is given that opportunity to score already. 8 points para kay Lucas.
That's all in the third quarter, much to the delight of Yumi Furukawa, of course, Lucas's girlfriend, who plays in the PBL. Cullar drives. Cullar is fouled.
I love the energy being brought in by Lucas. And this guy is instant energy for whoever team he is playing for. Either setting up his teammates, playing defense, or now even showing that he has the talent to score. Lucas is a complete package.
All right, 2 gimmies for JC or Lucas. This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. I'd like to take this time to explain to people why I keep on calling him Lucas. Because he is known nowadays as JC Culyar.
Yeah, that's right.
So he is actually born to the nickname of JC. But he had a tito who did not like that nickname and preferred calling him Lucas instead. So he went by Lucas when he transferred from Italy to Batangas to Metro Manila. Eventually, in UE, in the UAAP, he was known as Lucas Culyar. But it wasn't the best of stints for him, right? He only became known when he played for CSB.
Yes.
Doon lang naman nagsimula si Lucas. It was actually his transfer from the UAAP to the NCAA that signaled a new beginning, which also meant he wanted to rebrand himself from Lucas to JC.
Never knew that story.
Yeah, as Val Acuña made a 3-pointer. So, now, I asked him, okay lang ba sa'yo na Lucas pa rin ang tawag ko sa'yo? Kasi yun ang nakasanayan ko. At sabi niya, oo naman. Kasi he will always be Lucas to me. And at the same time, those two names symbolize different things. As Robbie Celis scores for Nueva Ecija, Lucas will always remind him kung saan ang kanyang pinanggalingan. At JC naman, ang magre-remind sa kanya kung ano na ang kanyang estado ngayon sa ating, well, at least in the landscape of Philippine basketball, how he is. At syempre, ang kanyang patutunguhan.
And that's such a great story because he is getting so much better all throughout the season. So either Lucas or JC, really a beautiful story para dito kay Lucas JC Culyar. But you were the courtside when he was still playing for UE. Okay, okay. Makes so much more sense why you have the right to call him Lucas.
There's Robbie Celis with the turnaround shot. Alam mo yun kapag may kaibigan ka, tagal mo nang kakilala by one name. Just so everybody knows, I don't call Juanito, Juanito.
Yes.
Off air. So, pareho lang kayo ng kwento ni Lucas sa akin. There he is, defending Nico Elorde.
Actually, one of my favorite stories about itong si Lucas was when he got to see Gab Gomez. I think it was about a few weeks ago. They spoke in Italian, and I was just walking by, and I was so impressed. Yes. I wanted to stop, and I would not understand anything. Pero parang natural sa kanila that when they see each other, and I hope I saw Vince magbuhos with them as well, because I think Vince also came from Italy, but that would have been very fun to see them all speaking in Italian, and we were in Batangas City Coliseum.
Yeah, it's the four of them, the two magbuhoses, Gomez and Culyar, as now there's a block by Dumapig, and Elorde is on the other side, giving it up to Marvin Junicio, who fires. That's short. Oh, the ball goes out of bounds in favor of South Cotabato. But will there be a change? And Coach Don Dulay is fired up.
Oh, he's right in the middle. He can challenge that if he wants to. Doesn't need to be able to go out with a technical. He is well in control of this ball game with a 16-point lead.
All right. Referee Alan Manzano is now speaking with Miguel Pere for the official call.
This may be a technical.
Warning on the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards for improper bench decorum.
Just a warning.
Pretty much the same. Galing dito kay Coach Elvis. He had a warning earlier, but he was also fired up. So, just to be fair and to be quits, warning lang din para dito kay Coach Don.
We do have a challenge on that last out-of-bounds play. Let's see if Coach Don is right.
Upon review, the challenge was unsuccessful. Ball possession stays with South Cotabato Warriors.
That's 2 unsuccessful challenges in this game, 1 from each coach. Apparently, it was off of John Wilson. So, South Cotabato will keep possession. It's a sideline inbound for Marvin Jonicio.
Coach Don still not happy with the challenge.
Still can't believe it, but they are up by 60. So, you know, they still have that comfortable cushion. With 4 minutes to go in the third. Tolentino will fire. That's good. Now that's where the challenge would be costly, because it converted onto 3 points. There's Madam Eileen Tolentino, of course, the mother of Kyle and the wife of Coach Elvis. Sideline for Cuellar. Now it's Robles working with Magbuhos. The screen did not even touch. Magbuhos could have shot that ball. Now he's blocked by Tolentino. And here's Dumapic. Counter steal. No backcourt violation. Lucas Cuellar. Short. Rebound Nico. Forward to Marvin.
Helter-skelter basketball we're seeing.
Tolentino traveled. He was jumping up and down, asking for that ball.
Just got a little too excited off that kick out. That was a good intention to drive. Just a little bad on the execution. Medyo sayang because that could have cut the lead to 11 or 10.
64-51. Billy Robles. Magbuhos off of the switch did not get the ball. Turnover story +6 with Nueva Ecija. Celis unable to score. Rebound Damito. And here's Nico Elorde. 3 minutes and change. Elorde escapes. He's blocked by Vince. Forward to Lucas. Cuellar. Bounce pass. Celis leans in. 2 points.
Whatever angle, everything is going para dito kay Robbie Celis. You cannot give him even an inch of space to be able to get that ball up because he is such a talented scorer. Itong si Robbie Celis.
15-4-4 now for Robbie Celis in this game. Elorde saves the ball. And here's Nicole Sorella. Misfiring from the corner. Cuellar will slow down. He then saw the mismatch. Magbuhos left, open at the corner. There's the Italian connection of Nueva Ecija.
One thing we don't really see is the way Vince Magbuhos can stretch out this floor. This 6'6" guy has that touch from the outside. He's been playing terrific defense. But now he's showing that he also has that offensive touch. Itong si Vince Magbuhos. So watch that again. Interacting the defense, wide open on the corner is Vince Magbuhos getting his first 3 points of the ball game.
And Vince says, "Te amo," after that play. Not only to Lucas Cuellar, but also to somebody special from the sideline, I presume. And I hope I'm right. Because if I'm wrong, then we're in trouble. 69-51. Elorde, bounce pass, intercepted by Mocon. Here's Bahia on the move. JB, all the way, he's fouled.
Oh, I like this front court para dito sa Nueva Ecija. JB and Vince, both young guys. Usually Nueva Ecija always has that one veteran in their front court. But because of this lead, itong si Coach Don will be putting a very young front court in JB Bahio and Vince Magbuhos. So I expect the pace to be a lot faster para dito sa Nueva Ecija towards the rest of the third quarter.
And it's not like these two young men can't play.
Oh, yes.
They're stars of their own right. Bahio's a champion. A couple of games back, he was the best player of Nueva Ecija in their loss versus Binyan. Magbuhos was basically a big-time player for Adamson. And before that, a lot of people don't know about this, he was actually a star in UE. So he just wasn't able to reach the senior ranks dahil bata pa siya nun. Pero high school pa lang siya. Binabantayan niya na si Ben Imbala.
Oh, interesting.
That was Vince Magbuhos before.
So he already in UE college or was this UE high school?
Nasa senior high siya ng UE nun.
Okay. And then just transferred over to Adamson for college. Okay. All right, even I did not know that. I thought he was blue through and through.
Yeah.
So he actually was red to blue.
Hindi lang mararamdaman ng mga tao yun kasi freshy siya nung pumunta siyang Adamson. Bahio, nice pass. Ayay with some patience. MJ Ayay is blocked by Tolentino. So that's, the second of Kyle. And here's Kyle on the other end. Short. Rebound Magbuhos. Kenneth Mocon onto his trailer. Bahio, Magbuhos. There's the young man connection.
You see the versatility, you see the activity. Both of these guys can put the ball on the floor, can attack, and more importantly, can finish that basketball. Mocon to Bahio to Magbuhos, a perfectly executed fast break for Nueva Ecija.
Magbuhos to try to complete the three-point play, unable to do so. But John Wilson was there for the cleanup. Napaganda pa for Nueva Ecija.
Right place, right time. Nadulas lang ang bola sa kamay, but John Wilson was there to pick up and be able to get that too.
73-51, under a minute to go in the third. Marvin Jonicio onto Dumapig, muscling his way through. He's fouled hard by JB. Good sportsmanship by Bahio.
Nothing extra. Galing naman dito kay JB.
Sanay sa dyan. Last year ba naman, puro giant ang kasama mo sa practice.
And they have not been able to locate that option itong South Cotabato. That post game was working for them. The second and the third quarter. The third, only Jervy Cruz was able to get a few baskets. Chris Dumapig, I think this is his first attack in the third quarter.
Let's check that. His second.
So 8 points and 6 rebounds.
Jonicio was fast to box out. A lot of physicality there. No call. (73-52). Nueva Ecija in control. They've outscored South Cotabato by 7 in this frame. Mocon with an opening. Kenneth will score.
That will put Kenneth Mocon in double digits as well here in the ball game. 10 points para dito kay Kenneth Mocon. I'm liking this young squad being brought in by Nueva Ecija.
So Mocon is now the fourth player to reach double figures for the Rice Vanguards, behind Celis, Collado, and Collar. Mark Cruz fires. No good. Yo, that was not good. A double foul between Magbuhos and Dumapig.
It's a wrestling match down low for that box out. Sinasabi nila, kailangan mo matay para sa bola. That's exactly what these gentlemen are doing right here. So look at that physicality once again, down low.
We saw it from a mile away. They were already tangled up. Alam mong may matutumba sa ganyang klaseng sabitan. And so, ayun. Naitawag na ng ating referee.
Takedown coming from Chris Dumapig, the veteran, trying to get possession against the young gun and Vince.
We're done, by the way, with the third quarter.
With number 30, Vince Magbuhos,
But the
his
fouls,
second,
of course,
and number 18,
will have to be
Chris
recorded.
Dumapig, also his second foul.
Nothing unsportsmanlike, just a double foul.
It's just gonna negate each other.
Although it will add to their personal tally. And our score after 3 is 75-52. Nueva Ecija in full control. We have scored at least 20 points in all of our quarters. Pataas ng pataas ang kanilang naibibigay sa atin.
That's right.
These highlights of the game are brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
All the quarters being scored by Nueva Ecija. Sorry, all the quarters being won by Nueva Ecija. In each quarter, they actually get better in terms of scoring. 29 big points in the third quarter. When we thought South Cotabato was going to be able to adjust, Nueva Ecija just had more weapons and more options in the third quarter, outscoring them 29-20, going to the fourth quarter with a 23-point lead.
This third quarter score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. presenting our Suzuki Muscular and Sporty fans of the game, just like the Avenus, 2 more and a 3 more with the Muscular and Sporty scooter from Suzuki. The Avenus, oras na para magmotor. So, again, I assume that these are the girlfriends of Lucas Culyar and Vince Magbuhos because they have been cheering their hearts out, especially in the third frame because Culyar now has 10 points and Vince has 5. Most of their production came in that quarter.
The Italian combo are really making
check
it.
that. All of those 15 were scored in the third frame by the Italian combo.
You see here, 15 of the 29, more than half of the points of Nueva Ecija just coming off of those two. But quarter scoring for both of these teams. South Cotabato up and down. That first quarter really making the biggest difference. But Nueva Ecija keep on adding to their total in terms of every quarter. 29 big ones in the third.
There's a foul called on Dumapig, and he was really surprised about it. Remember, he was called for a personal as a part of that double foul as we enter the third frame. So Dumapig has to be careful with his tally. He has 3 as of this moment. Offensive rebound, Bahio. His teammate went flying. It's all worth it for John Wilson as Bahio just scored.
What a beautiful Euro to a off-balance layup para dito kay JB Bahio.
At may demo pa si Billy Robles para sa atin. Nice spin by Calvo and the feed to Dumapig.
It's a good pass coming from JP Calvo, attracting all of the defense. Easy drop pass para dito kay Chris Dumapig. And Chris already doubling his averages with 10 points here in the game.
The lead is back to 23. The biggest was at 25. It's a steal. Kyle Tolentino. Oh, he was fouled by Magbuhos, who cannot believe it. It seems like he will have to let this go.
Defense to offense para dito kay Kyle Tolentino. Getting that steal and eventually attacking hard.
Speaking of attacking hard, there's the drive and the feed by JP Calvo. Our play of the game brought to you by Suzuki. Calvo hasn't scored as much. He only has 4. 1 out of 4 from the field, although he has 4 assists. Tolentino is at the stripe. Kyle currently has 8 points on 2 out of 7 shooting. Another miss from the line. He's 2 out of 5.
It's not the best offensive game para dito kay Kyle Tolentino. He's made 2 threes, but it has not been the most efficient game in terms of him scoring. But one area where Kyle is really contributing is really on defense. He's had 2 blocks here in the game. He just made the steal in that last play. But offensively, it's been a struggle para kay Kyle.
There's a foul called on Magbuhos again. So that's 4 on him. He ought to be careful. Matched up against Jammer Hamito. South Cotabato gets yet another possession. Baseline inbound. Mark Cruz onto Kyle Tolentino. Up top to JP Calvo. Playing his 7th game as a member of South Cotabato. Calvo drives. Oh, what a layup!
It's a tough finish para dito kay JP Calvo. That's offhand, well defended. But if you have enough skill and enough English, JP Calvo finishing with a 2 there.
It also seemed like it did not hit the board. Bahio pulls up. Short. Rebound Mocon. It's JB. Attacking and feeding. Ayay could not control it. Numbers for South Cotabato. Calvo onto Mark Cruz. This is big. No good. Rebound Tolentino. Calvo, another spin. Hamito, 2 free throws.
3 opportunities, nothing going para sa South Cotabato. Did not get a ball game for them. You also have to credit the defense of Nueva Ecija all towards this ball game.
Magbuhos is done. That's 3 fouls in this quarter after having a spectacular third frame.
Basically, are putting a crown on King Vince Magbuhos. That's the friendship they have.
Yeah.
Baka si JC lang maagawa nun kay Vince from the bench of Nueva Ecija.
And now, because The Italian big man has subbed out. Papasok naman ang kanilang Italian point guard in a few moments.
Good minutes para dito kay Vince Magbuhos. 5 points, 4 rebounds. Played a lot more minutes than his usual averages. He only averages about 10, but today he's gonna get 14 minutes. But he is gonna foul out of the ball game. But still, solid contributions galing dito kay Vince Magbuhos.
That's what you do when you don't have Will Macaloni present. You know that you will have an opportunity. Same goes for the guards because Eman Calo is not present for Nueva Ecija. Shout out to Eman though. Calvo onto Mark Cruz. The drive and the leaner. No good. Rebound, Bahio. JB has 4 boards. And now there's a foul called to stop the play, and Nico Elorde will return. Back with Lucas. There's our matchup between our starting point guards. Cuellar onto Clark Derigue. Derigue steps back. No good from downtown. That's another guy who came from UE. Yan ang captain ni Lucas dati. Under Coach Derek Pumarin as Hamito scores on the other end.
Better scoring quarter para di South Cotabato. Coach Don Dulay not taking any more chances. 7 points for South Cotabato to cut this lead to 18. Still a long way to go. But still, they're doing a good job to start the quarter. 77-59 in favor of Nueva Ecija. Player matchup so far. Val Acuña and Billy Robles both making big impacts so far, but both are actually scoring 8 apiece here in this ball game. Val Acuña with a couple of threes, Billy Robles as well with 8 points, but they've been playing big here in this ball game in terms of impact. But more on the stories. Let's turn you over to courtside.
For this game's matchup, we have 2 veterans who undoubtedly have been steady for their respective teams. But you know what? Surprisingly, magkaiba sila ng perspective sa pagiging isang veterano. For Val Acuña, being a veteran makes things easier, makes things lighter. You get to voice out your thoughts at mas madaling makakonect, whether sa players man o coaches. But on the other hand, for Billy Robles, being a veteran is one of the hardest roles for him. Why? Ang sagot niya, mahirap kasing magkamali, lalo na kapag may mga mas bata na tumitingala sa'yo. You know when they say the younger ones learn by example and not by words, dun daw siya careful. Because once upon a time, he was one of the young ones hoping to be molded by the veterans. Back to you guys.
Thank you for that, Andrea. And of course, it's very, very hard to be a veteran because there's so much pressure on your plate for you to be able to deliver. But props to both of these guys because they're doing a good job in being a veteran. So, but so far, Billy Robles is winning that veteran matchup with them being up by 18 points here. Jammer Hamito will be fouled down low. See here, ito si Billy Robles and si John Wilson, 2 of the veterans for the side of Nueva Ecija. AJ Benson will be returning here. Slowly but surely, South Cotabato is actually doing a good job here in the 4th quarter. But they only have 6 minutes to be able to mount a comeback. But in terms of game planning, in terms of playing defense, they've only limited Nueva Ecija to only 2 points in the entirety of the 4th quarter. So let's see if they have enough time to mount this big upset.
Well, down by 17, 6 minutes to go. Kayang-kaya yan. Again, it has been a miraculous MPBL season. This is the venue where the greatest shot this season was converted by Jun Manzo.
Yes, that's right.
I'm not saying anything, but just keep your minds and hearts open for any possibility. Robbie Celis Working with MJ Ayaay off of the switch. Celis backs down. 5 on the shot clock. That's a foul by Kyle. Great patience by Robbie. Celis will now shoot his third and fourth free throws. He has 15 points, 7 out of 11. 63% field goal shooting with 4 rebounds and 4 assists for the All-Star.
You always love the next man up mentality of Nueva Ecija. Well, Macanoni is out with a minor injury. It's usually the guy who will be getting a lot of touches, but Robbie Celis is quick to be the next star. All the other guys helping out as well. JC Colliar with 10, Kenneth Moacon with 10 as well, Jay Collado with also 10. So a lot of guys knows that when one is down, I have to be able to help out, and that is the culture being set in by Coach Don Dulay.
Let's just hope that that will not be the case for the 2 Novo Ecijanos on Saturday, because we want to see Will Macanoni play in Zamboanga.
Especially it's going to be a guard versus big man matchup between the South and the North. You have LJ versus Balti. It's going to be very interesting.
As Robbie said, his scores inside. You think about it, LJ Gonzalez will have his hands full. Because even if you take away the big men of the North, he's still going to be matched up against Orlan Mamar.
Yes.
And Orlan Mamar had a statement game last Friday when San Juan beat Pampanga. So there's that. And we'll just have to let the storylines unfold. This coming Saturday, that will be the next time that you'll be seeing some more MPBL action after today. We have our fan of the game brought to you by Jinky Skin, present here inside the Orion Sports Complex in Bataan. The Risers will defend their home court versus the Negros Muscovados later on, but now we have Nueva Ecija versus South Cotabato, with the Rice Vanguards looking very comfortable, up by 19, halfway done in the fourth quarter. This follows the historic victory of the Quezon Huskers, only allowing 3 points in the second quarter to Muntinlupa, with 0 field goals made for the Cagers in that frame, as Lucas Cullar stepped out of bounds.
Struggles continue para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Only 5 points here in the fourth frame.
But the difference in the first 3 were just too much. Plus 14 in the first and plus 9 in the third. This is AJ Benson scoring once again. Got 7 points after his 4-point debut with South Cotabato.
Slowly but surely, he is building his time para dito sa South Cotabato, adding to the versatility, playing possessionless basketball. You can put him at the wing, you can put him at the big. AJ Benson, a good addition for South Cotabato.
How about MJ Ayaay with 2 more points? Now has 12.
Quiet type of basketball para dito kay Jasper Ayaay, but always very efficient and always making a big impact para dito sa Nueva Ecija. There are games where he's not used in the entirety of the first half, but once he enters, instant impact para dito sa Rice Vanguards. And that's why you always want to have a guy like Jasper Ayaay who never stops playing and never stops giving his effort for his team.
Ang galing ka ba namang Ginebra? Of course, you'll have that same attitude.
And
brought
LPU.
over.
And
yeah,
LPU.
LPU as well. Ayaay is now the 5th player to reach double figures for Nueva Ecija in this game. Tolentino will fire. That's good.
Third 3-pointer para dito kay Kyle Tolentino. He's been missing quite some shots, but this guy, whenever he's open, he's going to take it. And that's going to be finally a make para dito kay Kyle.
I remember back in his Marikina days, he would attempt 11 3-pointers per game. never shying away as that three-pointer went in for Ayai, but there was some action afterwards.
It's a young guy versus a veteran in the Kiwag versus Junicio.
Hindi naman lumala, yan ang pinakamahalaga.
Binulungan na rin ni Robbie Celis for it to not get any worse. Of course, sometimes pag nabulungan ka ng veterano, it always cools you down. Sorry kuya. You know, yun na lang masasabi mo eh. Yung pag narinig mo na sa young guy nagsabi, sorry kuya, it always cools down the situation.
It was a foul by Junicio, and so it's going to be a baseline inbound for Nueva Ecija. Vanguard's led by as many as 25. Now it's 22 for Jay Collado and company.
Once again, who is making that play happen? Robbie Celis finding that backdoor cut para dito kay Jay Collado.
Is that another foul? Yes, but not by Junicio. Si Dakiwag naman ang matatawagan ngayon. And Dakiwag, we get a word from Coach Don Dulay.
You see the respect they have for Coach Don.
I wonder what he said. Because he said it with a bit of a smile. And Dakiwag exited that short convo with a smile.
And for two veterans to agree with that, it's not a smile, it's a smirk. Yeah. Mas parang mas maloko yung smirk eh.
May plano. Hindi naman.
Probably they're gonna set something up for Ed Dakiwag. Minsan, that's the best way para makabawi eh.
Right.
For you to be able to get a basket on the guy who's been playing physical on you.
Let's see if he can actually get the ball here. Lucas Collar against Nico Elorde. Collar up top. They go to Dakiwag. Bounce pass to Celis. 4 on the shot clock. Cross court. Collado for 3. No good. Here's Nico. Elorde. Fouled by Collar. Yan naman ang hindi mawawala ng sportsmanship si Lucas Collar.
Probably in the mix of best sportsmanship award.
Yeah.
Always, whatever league.
Actually, Shaq Taganas might be in trouble this year. Lucas will now sit down.
It's so hard to hate on Lucas Collar. Just parang lagi nakasmile, kaibigan lahat.
Yeah.
And this guy shakes everybody's hands after the games.
Yes.
So this guy is a natural nice guy. Was he like that even in UE?
Yes. I mean, I've been doing my best to not sound biased. Obviously, I've been saying a lot of positive things about him. Pero kasi, hindi mo maiwasan na purihin yung mga mababait.
Yes.
Here's MJ Ayai against Marvin Junicio. Ayai trying to shake him off. Collado. On to Robbie Celis. They're going to let Robbie operate again. It's against Delmar Mahaling. Celis will score just like that.
It's so hard to defend Robbie Celis. We look at his mid-range game. We look at his shooting. We look at his post game. But the guy can put the ball on the floor as good as anyone from the wing. But he's only used at the 4 position. So it's so deadly because you put a big guy who is a little slower than him, then he can stretch out and play one-on-one. That's going to be an easy attack para kay Robbie Celis.
Robbie Celis is actually a 3-time All-Star now in the MPBL. Before he was selected before the pandemic. And then it's 2 times in 2 years. One with Makati and one with Nueva Ecija. These last 2 minutes are brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. It's the ending, GameX. 90-69. Calvo, no good. Ball tapped and recovered by Dumapig. There's a foul called on Dakiwag. Now we have a couple of homegrowns checking in. Clark Derigue, Don Arenas, and John Lee Valin. Remember, Valin once upon a time was nice contributor for Caloocan.
Yes.
He would average a block or so for Batang Kankalu. Dondon Arenas is like the Choi Ignacio of Nueva Ecija, the hometown hero. Another comparison is Topeng Nagrama.
Actually get surprised how famous these guys are. You know,
Yes.
coming off Manila. Pero pagdating natin sa kanilang mga hometown, these guys are the ones na pinipilahan at inaantay ng mga fans. I remember covering in Nueva Ecija. They got the win. But people were waiting for Dondon Arenas to come out. And you have guys like Wilma Caloni. You have guys like, but it's Dondon Arenas, which everybody loves. And that is probably why.
It bounces in for the homegrown in Dondon Arenas, right on cue. Now, as much as I brought up the name of Topeng Nagrama, let's not take anything away from Topeng. He's been playing very well for Quezon Province, as this was the three-pointer by Dondon in front of his bench. Much to their delight, kita mo naman ang kanilang reaction. Another name is J.R. Olegario from Parañaque. Yan, hometown hero yan. Ang pinagkaiba lang, naging consistent na kasi yung Nagrama, yung Olegario. And that's what you would want to happen as well for a guy like Dondon Arenas.
I think Dondon has the skill. But this is such
Ooh, no! All right, we'll let our marshals, referees, and head of security Rudy Distrito sort this one out. But the players have been separated.
Yes. I think everybody was quick to calm things down.
We are already at the latter part of the game, 1 minute and 23 to go. And this is just unfortunate for Marvin Jonicio and Clark Tirige, because most likely they will be thrown out and most likely they will be suspended as well for the next games.
These are important games para dito sa South Cotabato.
Box out sequence. Yun. Nauna na yung mga siko, tapos sumunod na yung mga suntok.
I gotta give props to Dondon Arenas for being the first one to calm things down there.
Did you actually see a fist from Jonicio? Ayun.
Yeah, there was an answer. Then there was that left extension. Dondon Arenas was the savior of that moment. I think no one was involved.
Our referees are reviewing it, so they would call it right. Of course, we'll give them the time to do so. If you think about it, Marvin Jonicio plays more minutes than Clark Tirige.
Yes.
And, you know, South Cotabato missing him for their matchup versus Davao could be crucial. After that, it's Quezon Province as well for the Warriors. That's not an easy schedule. As for Nueva Ecija, the next games will be against Sarangani, Abra, Rizal, and Pasay. So it's 3 teams who are in the playoffs of the North Division, and they're battling for seedings, obviously. Abra's even eyeing for home court advantage.
For South Cotabato, this is actually positioning the next few games. So against Davao, you need to be able to be on full capacity. And Marvin Jonicio is their main wingman alongside Kyle Tolentino. So this is gonna hurt if he is gonna get suspended.
He could be useful defending a versatile forward like Art de la Cruz, who's an all-star for Davao Occidental. By the way, in terms of home court advantage in the North Division, right now the top 4 are San Juan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, and Manila. But Pasay and Abra are right there. Batang Kankalu as well. They have a chance because they are just, what, 2 games behind Manila? Kayang-kaya pa. Robinson is playing with Clark Rodriguez.
They're putting an ice on
Kasi ina-ice si
Marwin,
Dionisio
oh.
Kaya ina-ice din nila si Rodriguez.
Puro komedyante pala itong nasa Nueva Ecija.
I'm sure they're just trying to lighten up the mood of Mr. Rodriguez. This game is done. It's a 20-point lead with 1:23. It has to be a really big miracle for South Cotabato to still
It's
win
an
this game.
unsportsmanlike foul on number 12, Marvin Janicio. Marvin Janicio, 5 fouls. Disqualifying foul on number 77, Clark Rodriguez. Clark Rodriguez out of the playing court.
That's why I had to ask if Janicio had a closed fist in the punch, because the punch of Rodriguez was clearer. So yun, hindi na question sa atin na ejected siya because of that. But for Marvin, as ruled by our referees, it wasn't as bad. So it's an unspo.
It was the elbow. The elbow was the unspo, then the punch was the disqualifying foul.
This is the first time that the Bataan crowd is seeing the replay, by the way. That's why we're hearing their reaction. And as we know, this Bataan crowd is quite animated. Janicio will foul out. 1 point, no field goal, 5 assists though for him. And that means that he won't be suspended.
Yes.
In their next game.
He's only going to foul out, so he will be able to play against Davao, which will be a very crucial game. So that's going to be good news para din sa South Cotabato. But no need for anything more physical. We just have to finish this game properly.
Just to clear it out, that's the general ruling. An unspo will not suspend you. An ejection would. But that's general. Kasi may mga appeal pa pong nagaganap afterwards. So just have to wait and see for Marwin and Clark. But now, we proceed. 1:20 to go. Felix Apreco is now in the game, defending JB Bahio. It's a steal by Calvo. He threw it onto the wrong guy. Dumapig, make that Takiwag. They swing it over. Don Arenas, no good. Valin, fouled hard by Apreco.
I think Valin is at least 6'7". Very underrated, athletic and long.
Yes, long arms.
That's why he was able to contribute really for Caloocan the past season.
Obviously, it's not going to be that simple for Nueva Ecija with this deep lineup. The first free throw is no good for John Lee Valin. In terms of scorers for Nueva Ecija, 3 haven't scored. Valin, Villarias, and Rodriguez. But Rodriguez won't be able to do so anymore. And Byron is at their bench. There's no sign of him coming back. More free throws, this time for JP Calvo. This could make him reach double figures. 9 points now for JP. He played for Navotas before in the early MPBL days, and then he played for Marikina for only 3 games. That's why he already has a relationship, or had a relationship, with Coach Elvis Tolentino before his Terra Firma PBA stint. Kaya madali na lang ang kanyang pagbabalik sa ating liga. There you see our Commissioner Kenneth Durendes and Rudy Distrito, our head of security. Mocon's in trouble. Being able to cross the half line. Kenneth alley-oop to John Lee Valin. That's a sorry miss.
Oh, they wanted that. The bench was so excited for that play. It was a good pass. Medyo maiksi lang ang pasa.
One more try here, Arenas. Can he lob it up? There it is, Valin on the catch. John Lee is fouled.
They're really trying to set up itong si Valin.
That was the opportunity for those two to just give us a highlight. I even thought for a while that Arenas was going to throw it off the glass for an alley-oop. John Livalin able to convert.
Love the smiles to end this game. Everybody in good spirits para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
And they have been at the high. Ever since losing to Binyan, they beat Batangas, they beat Quezon. Those are two contenders. And also South Cotabato. This is a playoff team.
Sometimes all you need is that wake-up call for your team for you to be able to come back and be able to go back to your winning ways. And that Binyan loss was the perfect wake-up call para dito sa Nueva Ecija.
Delmar Mahaling getting the board. Challenged by John Livalin. And that's going to do it for our game. It's a 19-point victory for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, who now improve to 21 wins and 3 losses. This is their 3rd straight victory. As for South Cotabato, this is their 3rd straight loss. They go down to 15 and 11.
That's going to hurt itong South Cotabato. Now they're going to be number 7. And that win could have jumped them to number 5 in the Southern Division. But still, they are in the playoff mix. So there's going to be still a very good couple of games. But for Nueva Ecija, they will remain at number 3 in the Northern Division. And one guy making sure of that is Robbie Celis here in the ball game. Starting out strong, 6 of his points was coming off the first quarter. But eventually, he was able to maintain his composure, was able to get his scoring load. And well-deserving of our Player of the Game honors is Robbie Celis.
He's our best player of the game, brought to you by Daily Fantasy. Dito sa Daily Fantasy, hawak mo ang laro. Robbie Celis will finish with 20 points, 9 out of 14 shooting. That's 64% efficiency from the field. 6 rebounds and 5 assists. He also has a plus 20 in terms of his plus-minus on the floor. His final score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending, GameX. Let's go to Andrea.
Thank you, Migs. Our daily fantasy best player of this game is no other than Robbie Celis. First of all, congratulations. Robbie, once again, you proved to us the all-star player that you are. Simula pa lang, ang ganda na ng laro mo. Tapos all the way, naging steady ka sa iyong laro. Matanong ko lang, nakatulong ba yung matchup ninyo ni Will Macaloni na kinuwento sa akin ni Coach Don dahil sa magandang laro mo ngayon and na-fill in mo somehow yung absence niya in this game?
First of all, syempre, I want to thank God for this win. Lahat naman kami sa practice competitive. Hindi lang kay Will Macaloni. From the coaches to the players, talagang everyday sa practice we work hard. So, ang kagandahan na-apply namin sa game. So, hopefully, magtuloy-tuloy.
In full control kayo in this whole game. But actually, for the past games, kahit na contending teams yung nakakalaban ninyo, ay maganda talaga yung pinapakita ninyo. Bakit nga ba pataas ng pataas yung competitiveness ng Nueva Ecija?
Well, siguro yung number 1 doon, yung natalo kami sa Binyan. Yun talaga yung parang wake-up call sa amin. So, yung nangyari yun, talagang ang pangit ng laro namin lahat eh. So lahat ngayon talagang focus, nagtatrabaho lahat, and yun nga, na-apply namin sa game ngayon. So hopefully, magtuloy-tuloy.
Robbie, balikan natin yung pagiging all-star player mo. Sa tingin mo ba, this coming September 7, madedefend ng North ang all-star championship title?
Sana, no, ang ano doon, mabigyan natin no, ng kasiyahan yung mga fans, especially yung mga manonood sa Zamboanga.
And might as well i-invite mo na nga ang ating mga kaliga sa Zamboanga na panoodin ang ating All-Star Game.
Yes, sa lahat po ng ating mga kaliga, iniimbitahan ko po kayo sa darating na September 7, All-Star Game na gaganapin dyan sa Zamboanga. And nagpapasalamat din ako sa buong Cuevas family, especially kay Boss Bong Cuevas. Binabati ko rin yung family ko, sa wife ko, kay Donna, kay Rob, kay Daniel, sa tatay ko sa Bulacan, kay Mama Tess, sa lahat ng mga pinsan ko dyan sa Feria, sa mga tito, tita ko. Nagpapabati din si Billy Robles at yung asawa niya na si Maika, and advance happy birthday din sa pinsan ko kay Rain, and sa lahat ng tropa dyan sa Paranaque, kina Kuya Joel, kina Kuya Anton na nanonood ngayon. Yun.
Alright, thank you so much. Once again, that is Robbie Celis, our best player of the game, brought to you by Daily Fantasy. Dito sa Daily Fantasy, hawak mo ang laro. Back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Andrea. So, congratulations to Robbie Celis for a very efficient game today, and good luck to him this coming Saturday as he tries to win the All-Star game. Get well soon to his All-Star buddy, Will Macaloni. Hopefully, they will be complete inside the Mayor Vitaliano Diagan Coliseum. Coach Don Dula, even though he wasn't happy for a while during our game, will get the victory in Bataan. For Andrea Indicio and Juanito Gregorio, my name is Mix Gomez, and we'll be back for Bataan versus Negros.